36 or 38 points or something foolish like that. And my mind was blown. But where you're missing here is from a defense perspective, talking about the Montreal Canadiens. And again, last night was a prime example as to how bad you miss a guy like Jeff Petrie. Vegas is big. They're fast. They're coming at you, and they will make you capitalize on every turnover humanly possible. Penalty problems, penalty killing was the biggest issue for the Montreal Canadiens last night. I mean, in the second period alone, I think they had to kill off 4 straight back-to-back penalties, one of them being a 5-on-3. If you look at how Vegas activated their D, and I mean, it got a little chippy at one point. I mean, even Max Pacioretty, even though in his media interview said, hey, you know what, I don't care who we're playing. This is how it's going to be. You obviously care. And, Montreal asked their fans, and I saw on social media, don't boo Max Pacioretty. He was our captain. Yeah, he was your captain who asked to be traded twice. So as far as I'm concerned, the hell with him. I hope he just gets lit up. I hope the little ticky-tack stuff going on with Corey Perry. And I mean, it would be awful to see, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be fun. But you're right. Dom Ducharme is going to have these guys fired up for game 2. Cole Caulfield scored his first goal of the postseason, which was good. His family was in attendance. Alexander Romanov looked absolutely great last night. Huge hit on Pietrangelo, which made it aspect for the Montreal Canadiens. But yeah, this team's going to be fun. And don't forget, I mean, Jake Evans is up there, even though what happened with Winnipeg, he has been skating. We'll see him at some point in this series. I'm sure of it. It wouldn't shock me to see if Jeff Petrie hits game 2, though.
Well, I'm fine with the lineup they have with
without a doubt.
Without Jeff Petrie. Yes, I'd like to have him. Was that bad? And Romanov certainly stood out for me for sure. And he brings some young and vigor. See, I didn't watch them that close, but you as a true Montreal Canadian fan watch them real close. Just like when I watch my team, I watch individuals very closely. But, the shots were even. The power plays were even. Montreal had the only power play goal. And speaking of Pietrangelo, he had 7 shots on net. So not only did they get 3 goals from 4 other for 4 goals, and they get 3 of them from defensemen, but then Pietrangelo's all over the place with 7 shots on net. The old adage is, if you can't beat Carey Price with a shot, you put traffic in front, screen him, deflect, all those kind of things. That's exactly what Vegas did. And that redirect, and I think it was Holden with the shot or the fake slap shot and slid it across, and what a great play that was. But you really have
Carey Price, there was only one save, I believe. I believe it would have been on the Holden goal, actually, the one that he did score in the end. It's the only goal I think Carey probably had a chance on. That first goal they scored, I think they clocked it at 108 miles an hour with 4 guys in front of Carey Price. And it was going over the shoulder anyway. But yeah, that slap shot fake pass. Look, no one was making that save. And if he had a beer in the air, but it wouldn't have surprised me because it's Carey Price. But you're right. Montreal is going to regroup. I mean, you're going to have to play this Vegas team physical, and don't forget they've got some big guys on that roster over there. I mean, you're Ryan Reeves of the world. They're going to put some pressure on guys like Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki. Kotkaniemi played well last night as well. You're right. The lineup was great. Except
I had no problem with the lineup.
I mean, Romanov finished at a -2 last night, but that's because his defensive pairing partner was Kulak.
Let's move on to the other series, Chris, which the Islanders and Tampa Bay would have played another game by the time this show airs. But in the opening game, the Islanders do what they do best, and that's by shutting down, not like the Tampa Bay Lightning. They did do that, got good goaltending, opportunistic goal scoring, and don't let Tampa score until the very end. Do they sneak up on the Lightning, Chris, or do the Lightning knew what they were in for?
Look, if the Lightning didn't know what they were in for, then somebody should be fired. At the lives and dies with Matt Barzal. I mean, he's unbelievable, and he plays the game so well, and he plays it with so much angst. He's fired up every time you see him. But look at the supporting cast there. I mean, Jordan Eberle's playing very well right now. Like, you're right. They're a deep team, and they roll 4 lines, and they roll them well. And even look at the blue line. I mean, when Lou Lamoriello went out and made the acquisitions he made as well, he brought in a lot of veteran depth to help solidify what was going on in that New York roster. And yeah, I love it. I mean, nothing would make me happier than to see New York upset Tampa Bay. And I'll call it an upset, even though statistically it's an upset. I necessarily don't think it
so. Why? Because Tampa Bay's defending, or is there something about Tampa Bay you don't like?
No, Tampa Bay's great. I'm not trying to take away from what they have. the small things. I mean, I understand they're not breaking the rules with the cap stuff. Like intelligent, it's very intelligent. I get it. I'm not, but it's just something about watching a team like the Islanders versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's almost like a David versus Goliath in a media story, and that's how they're going to try to sell it because the Tampa Bay Lightning, like whatever his contract turned out to be. When I laughed when Dougie Hamilton after that series during his press conference talked about, what happened, and his first response was, "Look, we lost to a team $18 million over the cap. I mean, what do you want us to do?" And Tampa's good, but again, they're not breaking any rules. I just like the idea of seeing the
but Chris, it's hyper bending the rules, and
without a question.
And the fact that if you watch game one that Tampa played, Kucherov comes out of the chute like he'd been playing all season long. You can't for 6 or 4 weeks because nobody ever reported, that he was skating with the team or anything was happening. You don't come out of the chute and play like that. And what it did for the Lightning was allow them to get David Savard. And so here they already have a pretty solid blue line, and you get to add David Savard for it because you don't have to add Kucherov's money to the cap for the playoffs. So that's hyper creative. And, Julian Breezeball from Steve Yzerman, if not, and again, I love the guys in this game that are creative, that come up with good coaching ideas. And this Breezeball coming up with a good GM idea. I'm not begrudging them it, but I think they knew exactly what they were doing and how they were going to conduct it.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's some brilliant masterminds behind that, and it was Florida they played in the first round,
right?
But yeah, so overall, how that played out, yes, are they circumventing the cap? Of course they are, but it's within the rule space. Now, my question is, Alexander Ovechkin was a free agent as soon as Washington season's over. Couldn't the Habs have signed him for the postseason? I mean, who knows, right? But yeah, so overall, it's one of those things where, Tampa Bay is fun to watch. I mean, they're exciting. They're a good hockey team, but the Islanders are just funner to watch, in my opinion. I mean, look, I don't know if it's because we have a bit of the personal ties here. I mean, I love watching Noah Dobson do what he does line as well. And I mean, we got a chance to watch, and I just, look, it's a person. Look, I'll admit it, Jerry. Fine. The minute John Tavares left New York and went to Toronto, I wanted the Islanders to win. I wanted them to do everything they could because John Tavares decided to not Toronto Maple Leafs and left. All the fans were upset with him, and then all of a sudden the Islanders started to win. And I love crazy storylines like that. And Matt Barzal's a superstar, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do here.
You're a Montreal fan who loves the Toronto. That Tavares went to Toronto, hasn't done anything since he's got there. What about the NBA, Chris? Let's move on. We'll move on to the hoop, and we see one team has advanced to the semifinals in the Phoenix Suns, beating the Denver Nuggets. Don't know a whole lot about either of those teams. The team that I'm excited to watch is watching the Atlanta Hawks. They're playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who finished first overall. So the Hawks were the lowest ranked, and they're giving them all they can handle. The series at this time when we tape is tied at 2-2. All the other series are tied, including Milwaukee and Brooklyn, and also the Clippers and Utah are now tied at 2-2 after Kawhi and them came back. Were you surprised by Kawhi coming back from a 2-0 deficit?
Not surprised. I mean, they showed exactly when Kawhi decides to put a team on his back. I mean, every fan in Canada knows what Kawhi Leonard is capable of. The question mark for me was Paul George. I mean, how is Paul George going to respond? I mean, you're hearing the term overrated a little bit swing around when it comes to Paul George lately, but no, it doesn't shock me at all. Now, don't kid yourself. I think Utah will be prepared and ready to go for Game 5. The storyline for me with the Suns is watching Chris Paul do what he's been doing this postseason. I mean, at this point, I'd say there's no doubt he's playoff MVP. He's a vet. He's been around a long time. And I remember that I saw a tweet go out right before the announcement was made that Chris Paul ended up going to Phoenix to play with Devin Booker and do everything he was doing there. It was, hey, hearing rumblings, Chris Paul's going to Phoenix. Take a flyer on it with these odds, ha, 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 from a betting site. And everybody says, are you kidding me? He's washed up. He's done. He's a dumpster fire. Forget it. You're never going to win with Chris Paul. And then he is proving all the haters wrong. But my God, has it been fun to watch.
Yeah, but can now Brooklyn survive without two of their stars, as Harden and Irving are now not in the lineup? Can that be still overcome?
We talked about this last week with producer Jay. I didn't think anybody was going to come close to seeing playing next game. We'll see. But without two of their stars, but here for Steve Nash and what he's doing, to see him behind the bench for Brooklyn, I hope Philadelphia beats them. I'm a huge Antetokounmpo fan. Giannis is on the Greek freak, baby girl, the Greek freak.
They got to do something, Chris. They can't lose this series. They got to play with a little bit more heart, though.
Oh, I don't disagree with you, but I think at that point they're going to try to run this thing on talent alone. But anytime you've got James Harden, anytime Blake Griffin's been playing well too. I mean, it's almost like he's found a resurgence in Brooklyn. I hope I hope Milwaukee wins that series. But at the same time, if I was I shouldn't say if I was a betting man, I am a betting man, and my money's still on Brooklyn. Even
though the Raptors aren't in it, I'm reinvested into basketball. I've really enjoyed it. There's been some good storylines, and the fact, and we touched about it last week, that a lot of these teams have never won, and there's only 3 of the 5 or 3 of the 8 that have won a championship. So that makes it even more exciting. And so I've reinvested myself into basketball. Now I don't watch all 48 minutes, mind you, but I do like to keep track and follow through third and fourth quarters and into the overtime if they happen. So it's been fun.
Well, you made a comment too, Jerry, and what it was bang on. You talked about how you had a little more of a passion now, a little more of a resurgence for a fandom of the NBA. And, go back to when the Raptors won that title, which they had their anniversary last week. It wasn't that long ago. I think basketball fans or even Canadian fans at all, it didn't matter. Even if you weren't a basketball fan, you rode the train. You absolutely did. I mean, it was a fun thing to watch. And the way the Raptors went through that postseason and did what they did so much for Basketball Canada, not just here amongst guys like you and I who are avid sports fans regardless, but even people who didn't necessarily pick up the sport or didn't love the sport. You rode the train. You loved it. You were on board and you wanted to see that championship flow through. And, good on the Raptors to do what they did. And, I would love to see, obviously, Canada's team get back into doing what they're doing best. And, hopefully a speedy recovery for guys like Siakam and how they're going to rebound this year and what's all going to happen. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's good for basketball. And I love watching the fandom come through right now.
I've been having fun watching Major League Baseball, Chris, and the Toronto Blue Jays. And I know they're in the middle of the pack and again, a tough American League East. But every night you're getting something different. And of course, they played your Red Sox this past week and won 2 and lost 2 and could have won more. But each game had a different degree of entertainment. And if it was maybe a pitcher that had a great start and then get pulled in bad bullpen, you got to fight and argue about that, or then they blow the Red Sox out another one, lose a heartbreaker in another one. It was I find them very exciting. Vlad Guerrero the other night, the team's down 1-0. It's top of the 9th. He hits a home run to tie it. He leads the league in home runs. He leads him in batting average, and he leads them in RBI. That's the Triple Crown. And right now, Vlad Guerrero holds that crown, and that's pretty exciting. And not only that, Chris, but even the rest, let's say the top half of the lineup, Simonin has 15 home runs, Grichuk has 13, Bichette has 13, and Hernandez has 10. And each one of them has anywhere between 37 and 44 RBI. They're very entertaining to watch, and it's been a delight to see, when they get good pitching, how dominant they can be.
You're absolutely right. And talking about Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and what he's done, I mean, plus he's leading all Major League Baseball players in all-star voting right now. Released the first ballot update. I think it's 857,000 votes. There's nothing. I think in total stats too right now, I think he leads Major League Baseball in 5 or 6 different stats right now. And, he is by far the front runner for MVP of the year. And again, I know the season's still somewhat early. There's still a lot of baseball to be played, but right now, he's got 21 home runs on the season. You talked about how well he hit the ball at Fenway Park. I mean, clearly
22. He had one last
22 last night. Right.
I'm kidding. He did though.
I know. No, it's perfect. It's perfect. I love that. But overall, you just look at he did, but you look at the rest of the lineup, and don't forget, they're about to get George Springer back again in this lineup. Looks like
Chris, let me ask you a quick question.
Answer. How
many games has Springer played? How many games has he played? Do you know?
Hasn't he played half a game?
4. He's played 4 games, 15 at-bats, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. That is it. Now, I don't know what his injury is, Chris, and maybe you do, but it seems like a muscular or soft tissue, whatever you want to call it. And doesn't therapy, quad muscle, doesn't therapy fix that after 6-8 weeks? How long has the season been underway? They played, what have they played? 64 games now. They're a third of the way through the schedule. That's 2 months of playing, and he's not better?
Look, I think the first time he came back and played those 4 games, I think they rushed him in the first place. I don't think he should have come back. I think that they absolutely should have just took their time with him. They weren't in a rush. They didn't need to do what they now. But again, they have spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of media attention investing in George Springer. They want the fans to love him. I understand why they.
I don't know about that. Well, I don't know if I can like him, Chris, is what I'm trying to say. Hey, look, just the way this has started and his history with the Houston Astros, he still has a stink of an Astro on him as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, no. Look, man, I fully agree with you. But at the same time, you forgive, you forget, you move on. He's a Blue Jay now. He's not a Red Sox. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if he ever plays. But overall, I'm happy for him and what he's going to accomplish. I mean, I think he's going to be a great addition. But again, that's not where the Jays are having problems right now, right? I mean, you look at where they're closing these games out. I mean, Alek Manoah absolutely looks like the real deal for the Blue Jays.
Yes, love him.
But at some point, there has to be a conversation regarding Charlie Montoya and how he's managing the bullpen. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, does he have poor quality in the bullpen, or is it just the way he's managing? Does he have injuries in the bullpen? And again, I don't live and breathe every move that they make for the Blue Jays, but don't they have injuries in the bullpen?
Yeah, I don't think they're fine. Yeah, I don't think they're at 100% right now.
Yeah.
But overall, you have to work, and other than these big games, the Jays put up 20 on the Sox in one of the wins they put up here this weekend. But I mean, 18, whatever. It felt. But again, I'm glad it all went out one game. I could care less how many runs you score if you're going to do it all in one game, even though I think they broke a home run record at Fenway Park that night. But overall, the Jays are going to figure it out, but they're 8.5 games back right now. The Yankees are on the trail, 9 games back. The Red Sox are 6.5 games back right now. That was a big series against the Red Sox. That was huge for them. They're going to be trying to chase that wild card spot. I don't think anyone's going to touch Tampa at this point. And it's still early. I mean, Tampa could fall apart, but I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, Tampa's 43-24, I think, in the regular season so far.
They lead the American League. The White Sox are right behind them. And as a matter of fact, they play a small game set this week. I'll be intrigued to see the result from that. The White Sox are a hot team, and so are Tampa Bay. But what about the other problems, Chris? And talking about Major League Baseball. Rectify this illegal foreign substance that pitchers are using and coming out with actual penalties if you get caught.
Starting on Monday, it looks like there'll be a 10-day suspension for players if you're caught using substance to doctor or control the ball. Man, I don't know. And again, strikeouts, perfect games, no hitters. They're an all-time high this year. Something had to be done. But the fact that they cracked down this quick, this hard, everybody's cooperative. I mean, talking about Glasnow, perfect example. Tampa lost their best pitcher, and it all came down to a point where, you're having a conversation surrounding, there's a freak accident, whatever, what he used to use to get a grip on the ball. And it wasn't, anyways, I have mixed emotions about it. I mean, to me, it's, Garrett Cole's interview, I didn't hate it. A lot of people ripped it apart online, talking about when he's talking, the hand-me-down stories and everything going on, and it's in the game without actually admitting fault. I feel it's been a part of baseball forever, Jerry. It's not like he's using a buzzer, and it's not like anybody's beating a trash can. It's not like, I understand why they're doing it, and I'm not trying to say, because yes, cheating is cheating, but it's only really getting bad now.
Some are comparing it to playing with steroids. The same thing, that you are cheating in a way. You're using a substance to do so in doctoring the ball. But there hasn't been any lack of entertainment for me watching these ball games. And if someone strikes somebody out, their spin ratios on a ball, as the average viewer doesn't know that.
Long time, Jerry. You've been a baseball fan a long time. And as long like, is this ever bothered you? This has been going on for decades.
No, it's never bothered me.
Right. And it shouldn't bother anybody now. The only reason it's bothering now is because they're, I'll get canceled. I almost made comments here. I'm sorry. Anyways, bottom line is I appreciate your opinion, and I don't think that anything should, I don't know. It irritates me.
So I see the Blue Jays are going to get back at home in Buffalo to play the Yankees this week. Yep. But did I hear somewhere, Chris, that the Ontario government, was there some sort of announcement that maybe the Jays could come home? Is that true?
Yes. So it looks like they're working on a plan right now. No fans have been discussed in the building at this point.
Right.
They've been cleared to practice, or they're about to get cleared to. But again, I don't know what the fan situation is going to look like. The whole Canadian fans thing is starting to slowly open up. I know that here in New Brunswick, they're looking for that 20% on that second vaccine, and then we're opening up to the whole country as of Friday by the sounds of things. But speaking of the fans thing too, and I know a little off topic, but I just got the memo here recently that the Bell Center is allowing 3,500 fans instead of 2,500 fans for games 3 and 4 at the Bell Center.
There'll be a lot of fans at Torrey Pines, Chris. Let's move on quickly as the U.S. Open is going to get underway. In the U.S. Open, if you're a golfer or a follower of golf, the main characteristic of the U.S. Open is you hit it in the fairway or you're in heavy, and the course is tough. It should be a great weekend.
It's just like I'm golfing at Hillsborough. But yeah, no, it's going to be good. I'll be curious to see how it looks out. I mean, there's a lot of storylines coming into it. One, I mean, John Rahm's the favorite, to win right now. I think the odds are like 10-1. But you can never count out DJ. Bryson, I don't even look at it as anything. I'm not a DeChambeau fan. Not saying it's not capable, but I think, it's not for him. This course isn't
He's
for him.
A story. He is. He's a story.
Not saying he's not a story, but he's not winning the U.S. Open. It's not happening.
Well, didn't he win it last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he won it last year. Okay, let's
stop
stop
it.
He's not going
back to back. He's
okay.
Koepka's living rent free in his head.
And that's Phil's home course. Did you know that?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm rooting Rory. I want to see Rory win. I would like to see Rory somehow miraculously turn things around.
It's always fun. I can't wait, and it should be highly entertaining. All the big names are there.
No, you're absolutely right. And I mean, I love the fact that this thing's going to take place, and a lot of these pro golfers are barely going to scratch par here on this golf course. And that to me is exciting. I think it's great. I love this tournament for that reason.
Okay, get on, man. Let's go.
Okay, that's it, man. Let's go. It's going to the wrap right now, Jerry. We are starting right off the hop. The CFL has announced it's coming back. What are your thoughts?
August 5th, 14-game season. I'm happy for the CFL. I missed it tremendously last year, as we missed many things. And fans are going to be allowed into the stands. And I'm a big CFL fan. I'm glad they're back. Winnipeg Blue Bombers still hold on to the Grey Cup from 2 years ago. Also, the MFL semifinals. Moncton and Southern New Brunswick are going to play this weekend, and St. John and Fredericton are going to lock up. And we're going to have the game, Moncton and Southern New Brunswick, here on Rogers TV live this week. PM. Check it out. Chris, it looks like Gerard Gallant's landed on his feet very nicely.
Not a surprise at all. I mean, as soon as he came back with that gold medal in Team Canada, everyone knew it was just a matter of time. The question mark was going to be, where's the destination going to be? A lot of rumors were swirling Seattle, Columbus, but it turned out, hey, you know what? The New York Rangers go along very far. I mean, guys like Lafreniere are only going to grow and develop. Plus, you got Zibanejad, you got Panarin. There's a lot of good things happening in New York. Great hire in Gerard Gallant.
Awesome.
Things are going well there. What do you watch?
Yeah, I'm the local guy. New Brunswick Senior Baseball, they played 4 games. Moncton and St. John are the only teams playing. Moncton's had the edge so far with a 3-1 record. Closer to getting the Charlottetown Islanders into the loop once the bubble gets solidified by the end of the month. But New Brunswick Senior Baseball's on the field, and I think they're allowed a little bit more fans than they were to begin. Pascal Siakam, what about his problems, Chris, off the court? What about for next year?
So that'll be a good question mark, Jerry. I don't know what's going to happen as far as Raptor land goes. With Pascal Siakam underwent surgery. It looks like he'll be out 5 months, so he will miss the start of the upcoming season. But that could be a good thing for him. I mean, don't forget, Siakam's not a young pup anymore, Jerry. He's 27 years old, recently coming off signing that 4-year, $137 million contract. A lot of fans are concerned with where that money's being tied up, so they're gonna look for a big year and a second rebound back from him. But that's it, Jerry. That's another episode for Sports QuaranTV. The wrap was fun. The show was fun. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks a lot, guys, and we will see you next Thursday.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us.
I'm a singer-songwriter from Six Nations, and I've been writing songs about my experience, and with that being said, it's helped me hold hope in my heart in following my dreams and being resilient to everyday Indigenous battles. Competition between spirit, earth, and wind, let me tell you now. This song in particular, The Shiner, is a special song that I wrote for my grandfather. He was a snow snake maker, and that is a Haudenosaunee winter sport. It's my job to educate and to share, and the music allows me to do that. He'll be shining snow snakes and mud cats to the end of his days.
Wanted to showcase New Brunswick's finest athletes and builders on Sports Inclusive. We take a look at their personal journey and how sports has impacted their lives. Sports Inclusive, only on Rogers TV.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
This June on Crave, get a front row seat to the biggest movies.
Then here,
All hands on deck.
You can talk.